third section of 7 essential skills to build your career. This third section focuses on people movers, talent management. Talent management lessons are TM01, setting the stage for high performance, TM02, productivity from day one, onboarding new hires, TM03, leading through coaching, training, and mentoring, and TM04, the gift of giving effective feedback. This lesson will focus on productivity from day one, onboarding new hires, and implementing a systematic process for initial training.
Did you know that employee turnover has been proven to be at its highest during the first 6 months of employment? The reason for such early departures can often be traced directly back to the way the new employee was or was not oriented. Onboarding is one of the most neglected areas of employee training. Yet it has been well documented that assimilated employees are more productive in a shorter period of time, and they are 30% less likely to leave the organization. This module will highlight the benefits to be reaped from implementing a well-thought-out employee onboarding process. We'll also provide 5 points for a quick start and determine who is responsible for the onboarding process: the organization, the department or unit, the supervisor or the peer group, or the employee themselves. In most organizations, responsibility for implementing an onboarding program will be split between line management and the HR department. In other organizations, operating supervisors and managers will be solely responsible for the onboarding process. Regardless of who has responsibility, the same care and planning is needed. Onboarding time is critical. This is the period when employees form the perceptions about the organization, their fellow workers, their job, and their supervisor, and it's vital to create a positive impression at this time. So onboarding is not the end of the hiring process, it is the beginning. Many cost factors are involved in the onboarding process. There's recruiting costs to replace the employee, loss of the reputation as an employer of choice if they leave. There's always downtime during the transitional period, and overtime paid to get the job done. There's also time involved to repeat the training and replace the hire, and lost productivity of supervisors and fellow workers who had to train the employee. There's also lower productivity and quality from unmotivated staff. Here are 5 points for a quick start to onboarding. First, use the pre-hire time effectively. Second, implement an effective strategy from day one. Third, give the employee responsibility to complete certain self-training tasks. 4, communicate regularly and thoroughly. And 5, continue the assimilation period for 3 to 12 months. Use the pre-time hire effectively. Onboarding begins immediately following the acceptance of the job offer. This is when the hiring manager, or the new employee's immediate supervisor, and the organization must begin preparing for the arrival of the new employee. Providing advance information to the new employee before day one simply facilitates the onboarding process in the organization. Implement a strategy from day one. The focus should be to welcome the employee and tell them about the onboarding process. Beware of input overload. It should not be data intensive, rather should focus on the interpersonal aspects of working at your organization. Designing the program is essential to its success. Second, give the employee responsibility for their own onboarding. Provide them with a list of tasks to complete. You could send them the handbook, have them scan through documents, safety sheets, product catalogs, and other information. The point is for the employee to be productive day one with a list of specific projects and tasks to stay busy. You might want to create a checklist to use as a training plan and hold the employee accountable for completing it in a specific time frame. Communicate regularly and thoroughly. During the first few months, a good program must include frequent follow-up sessions between the supervisor and the new employee to give and receive feedback about job responsibilities, organizational policies, and training procedures. These first few months also allow the supervisor to scrutinize the employee's performance and determine if the employee should be retained. Does the employee have the training and resources needed to do the job? And number 5, continue the onboarding program for at least 3 to 12 months. Once an employee is on the job, a good continuing onboarding program does not begin and end on the first day of employment. One day does not provide sufficient time for the employee to digest necessary information. Keep in mind the employee is being asked to learn not only a new job, but also about a new organization, its procedures, benefits, policies, and so forth. The length of a company's onboarding program depends on the complexity of the job and the organization. Defining responsibilities for the onboarding process. Who is responsible for onboarding? There's organizational onboarding, such as HR, payroll, benefits, and some information about the history and the values of the organization. Of course, there's always IT and safety that needs to be covered. There's also departmental or unit onboarding on the first day, the first week, the first month, and then also continuing the process from months 3 to 12. Then the team. Setting up a buddy program or a mentoring program is very helpful. The tour of the facilities, lunch, that sort of thing. And then finally, the individual has responsibilities as well. They should be held accountable for filling out forms, doing some self-paced training, and completing specific projects and tasks. Your organization probably has a list of items they cover on the employee's first day at work. Typically, they cover forms and documentation in the new hire packet, and sometimes they provide an introduction to the organization, including its history, vision, mission, and values, and then key policies in the employee handbook that are needed on day one, such as calling in sick, harassment prevention, use of cell phones, and that sort of thing. Obviously, safety training is also important as soon as possible, preferably day one. Also, day one, the information technology department may need to get involved with some technical support and anticipate the employee's needs for tools of the trade, such as databases, website, the copy machine. They may need certain information regarding tools, equipment, supplies. But certainly before they show up for work, the IT department should configure the network and make sure that their email is set up and the network is configured and that they have access to basic equipment and supplies. The department or unit supervisor has a bigger role in the onboarding process. Except for any material that might have been sent to the employee beforehand, this phase begins with the employee's first day on the job. And in the beginning, onboarding to the job should receive top priority. Some important points to cover are logistics, welcoming the employee to the team, preparing their workstation, and providing them with supplies and tools that they might need. Helping them out with the organization, giving them a list of team members and responsibilities, or perhaps that's on your intranet, but also giving them various resources like a training manual or a desk manual or cheat sheets that might be helpful. Also assignments. Determine the employee's first assignments, what needs to be done to facilitate their success. Give them a detailed explanation of the job duties, which is usually a job scorecard or a job description, and discuss with them the team norms and how you tend to communicate within your department. Also, let them know how frequently you're going to be checking in, and use this opportunity to review and provide feedback with the employee on their performance to make sure they're on track. The team or the peer group also has a role in employee onboarding. The supervisor should appoint a sponsor or a buddy for each new employee. This person would be from the same department and preferably performing the same or similar work as the new employee. Make sure the team is ready to welcome the new hire by communicating about their arrival, including a little bit of information about their background, perhaps a photo and some personal information, but not too personal. Also, appoint someone to take them on a tour the first day and show them where important places are, such as the restrooms or break rooms, how to make coffee, where the supplies are kept, those sorts of things. And also, have someone take them to lunch the first few days and introduce them around. The employee should also be given responsibility for conducting their own onboarding. Give the employee a list of specific tasks that you would like conducted during the first week or the first month, and that can include shadowing. You may want to set a goal of a number of hours for the first few weeks where they can sit with specific people and learn the systems or learn the processes. Also training. Have them sign up for training classes if you have them and specify the specific classes that you want them to attend. Give them some self-paced study materials such as books, PowerPoint decks, or other internal resources for self-study. Certainly a list of first projects or tasks is important to provide for them. so they can keep themselves busy on productive tasks. Now create a checklist to assign the employee specific tasks. Equipment manuals and safety sheets can also be useful for filling the employee's first couple days on the job. And use it as a checklist to track and monitor their progress. Some helpful resources will provide the employees with tools and resources to broaden their knowledge on the first few days of the job. Most jobs could benefit from a training manual or a desk manual, including cheat sheets or a flow chart of the various processes in that unit or department. An org chart and access to various materials on the internet would be helpful, as well as a buddy if they have any questions so they don't have to bother their supervisor. Clearly, how to access information technology for support and any other tools for communicating on the job would be important. If it's a field job, you may want to schedule on-the-job training with a buddy or a trainer to ensure that the employee knows how to use the equipment safely. Also, they may need to know about uniforms and other supplies. If it's a customer-facing job, you'll want to provide them with cashiering instructions, information on the products, perhaps a sales and service script, and also what to do to escalate a problem. These are just ideas. You'll want to create your own checklist for what an employee needs on the first few days on the job. You may want to divide the checklist up in terms of timing and create a timeline for onboarding. For example, before the first day, send out forms and links to sites to sign up for payroll, drug testing, and that sort of thing. Prepare the workstation, order supplies, and advise the work group that the employee will be arriving. On the first day, set up your checklist to orient the person about their roles and responsibilities, as well as expectations. Take the employee to lunch, inform them about goals and the corporate culture, assign them a peer, and add to standing meetings to their calendar. On the first week, there's certain tasks that should be accomplished as well. And so identify and address their learning needs, clarify your expectations each week upfront and in writing, and conduct one-on-one meetings for the first week to reinforce their job duties and responsibilities and discuss any problem areas. Use these one-on-one meetings to define and agree upon some short-term performance objectives, and let the employee know about your performance review process. In the first month, you're going to want to discuss and set goals and ensure that the onboarding is moving forward on its established schedule. Provide timely information-specific and issue-focused coaching and feedback, and also have them check back in with HR or administration to ensure that their organizational onboarding has been completed. Then continue this process for months 3 to 12. Have regular monthly reviews, check in on the onboarding schedule and progress, and continually ask the employee if you are providing enough support for their training and career development needs. These regular sit-down meetings can be brief, but they should focus on the employee's motivation and whether they have the training and the tools to be successful on the job. You probably want to write down and document these meetings, and certainly for a 3-month meeting, the evaluation should be written and discussed with the employee. Check with your HR department to make sure that you are in line with their processes as well. To maximize the success of your onboarding process, think about this quote from Talia Bauer, PhD. She states that research and conventional wisdom both suggest that employees get about 90 days to proving themselves in a new job. The faster new hires feel welcome and prepared to do their jobs, the faster they will be able to successfully contribute to the firm's mission. So use the onboarding time to ensure that your employees have the tools, the supplies, the equipment, but also the skills and the support needed to be successful on the job. Thank you for your participation, and remember that not all employees have the same skill or experience level, so ensure that your onboarding process is customized to each employee's specific needs. And make sure that you're meeting employees eye to eye. Thank you.
Congratulations, you just completed one of more than 30 modules from Eye to Eye Workplace. These modules are provided on YouTube for your benefit to preview the extensive training content of our management training modules. After 4 modules, you can take a multiple-choice online 10-question test based on the content of 4 of the videos on YouTube. There are tests available for team leadership, interviewing and hiring, talent management, performance management, communication, efficiency, and customer service. You'll earn a certificate of completion For only $9.99, you can document your management success. Go to eye2eyeworkplace.com/store, pay $9.99 for each module, and you'll get a link to the certification test. For more high-impact, low-cost training, follow Eye2Eye Workplace on LinkedIn and YouTube. Or visit our website at www.eye2eyeworkplace.com. Thank you.